Hello and welcome, my friends. This is Jennifer from Mystic Star. I want to thank you so much for joining me this week for my weekly group reading of January 17th through the 23rd. This week, I wanted to continue to focus in on some of these opportunities, these positives in your life, allowing you to make those choices and reach for those opportunities that are going to support you, they're going to encourage you, inspire you, and of course, bring in that fulfillment and those abundances that will help out so much right now. When we start to focus in on that high vibration, that's when we're really going to be able to make some shifts in our own lives. We may not be able to shift what's happening globally. However, we can make things easier and a lot more abundant for us. Yes, some of that will be that financial and material abundance. However, I'm also talking about abundances in all aspects of your life. And I know some of those abundances you may not be able to acknowledge right away, but know that they'll be there. The decks I've chosen for this week, I went with the Crystal Visions Tarot. I matched it then with the Energy Oracle. I felt that these two really were going to support you in getting that clear message. And then I topped everything off with the Creative Visions Oracle. Again, adding to that clarity that will support us the most this week. And of course, the selections I have for you this week, my friends, I've got the Tiger Iron, the Selenite, and then also the Rose Quartz. Like always, I want you to choose whichever crystal resonates with you the most right now. It may not be your favorite crystal. However, it's the crystal that you can't keep your eyes off of. Then I want you to go into the description box below. There, you're going to find timestamps. Click on your crystal's correlating timestamp. It's going to take you straight to your reading, and I will see you there, my friends. Hello and welcome, my Tiger Iron friends. This reading is especially for you. Now, like always, I have the full deck of the tarot and both oracle cards here, so you get the most comprehensive and meaningful reading for you. Without further ado, let's see what the week holds for my Tiger Iron friends. What can my Tiger Iron friends expect from the week of January 17th through the 23rd? Man holding a heart. What a fantastic week. You're going to find that stability, that foundation in that love. I know that sounds really hokey, but it's true. When we create that foundation in that loving, unconditional, universal energy, well, that's when you're going to see things come forward. That growth, that development, those opportunities. We need to have that foundation of unconditional love, though. Love for self, which can be the hardest love of all. Love for others. And of course, love for where you are in your journey. Being open to the experiences in the here and now so that you can embrace the opportunities that are all around you. When you're stuck in the past or hyper-focused in on the future, you're missing out on the opportunities that are presented right here and right now, limiting your ability to continue to grow and, well, provide for you and your loved ones. This week, we really need to focus in on the here and now and embrace all that we can. Learn and grow from this experience. Let's get a little bit more clarification here. What should my Tiger Iron friends focus in on this week? Wow, I love this little deck. Reveal. Pull back some layers to show what's underneath. Consider in what order and how quickly you show the goods. Show your hand. When you connect the reveal with the man holding a heart, it really talks about getting to know you, loving you for who you are right now, and then sharing that love with others. We don't want to be something that other people expect us to be, society wants us to be. We need to be us. We need to understand us. Hence, when we need to peel back those layers, understanding us a lot more. This week is going to help us do that. Help us understand ourselves so that we can share it with others. Like I said a few minutes ago, loving self is the hardest thing we're ever going to do. We have too many preconceived notions, too much, fear and heartache built in around us that is causing us to not fully love us. Taking that time this week to love and connect in with us will go a long way in helping us to raise our vibration, helping us to embrace the opportunities that are present to us. So let's look at this week. How can we do this? Because not only is it corny to say, this week I want you to love yourself, but let's see how we can actually do that. Because it's such a broad statement that is based a lot in that woo-woo that kind of turns people off. We need to get some tangible pieces here now. What can my Tiger Iron friends expect from the beginning of the week? The Holy Grail, the Ace of Cups. That love for self is very much connected in with that Holy Grail. Cups in tarot are about emotion, about intuition. This is about connecting in with you, loving you, and reconnecting in with that intuitive self. We need to take that time and start to connect into our intuition. Start to connect in with self. I have a lot of healing meditations that I'm going to suggest right now. Good idea to take a pen and paper out. It's going to be important. So the first meditation, of course, is going to be with Archangel Chamuel, helping to reestablish and connect in with that self-love. That self-love is going to be such a foundation in this week. When we start to love ourselves, we're really going to be able to not only raise our vibration, but understand how to better use our skills and abilities to our advantage. Which leads me to the next meditation, which of course we're looking at a meditation I did with Archangel Zadkiel, where we focused in on that self-forgiveness. Like I said, this self-love and loving self is a hard thing to do. We've got a lot of barriers, a lot of pain that's built up. That forgiveness will go a long way in helping us to release some of that pain, some of that fear that's impacting our ability to truly love ourselves. And I'm just putting out these meditations. You can do them in whatever order that resonates with you. And if they don't resonate with you at all, then just, keep listening. I'm almost done. The next meditation is one I did with Archangel Metatron. It's a releasing of pain meditation. We need to release that pain, release those blockages so that we can connect in with ourselves. That connection is going to go a long way in understanding and loving us. And finally, when I said we need to connect in with our intuitive self, I did a meditation with Archangel Raziel. And that's what we looked at, is connecting into our intuitive self. Now, if you're new to my channel and what I just said went right over your head, I'll backtrack a little bit here. I have a couple of playlists that I have meditations on. These are free meditations for you to use and revisit as often as you need to support you, not only in your healing, but giving you tools to overcome some of the challenges. The archangels that I just mentioned, we did meditations together. We collaborated. I called in their amazing omnipresent energy, which means that they can be with you and me at the same time. And I'm also sending you and combining it with my Reiki energy, helping to heal you on a lot of different vibrational levels. So these meditations, they're guided meditations that you can use, reuse, and visit as often as you need. Throughout this week, you're going to find that those meditations that I talked about are going to support you in healing and understanding you, helping you to love you on a deeper level. We need to grasp this holy grail by the handle and start to sip from it. Start to connect into those life-giving aspects and pieces. And the only way we can do that is by understanding and loving us. Let's go into the middle of the week. What can my Tiger Iron friends expect from the middle of the week? Oh, I love this one. The Page of Cups. We're still in that intuitive, emotional energy. We've added in the Page of Cups. Now, pages are that childlike, innocent, inquisitive energy. And we need that. We don't want to get caught up in the heartache and fear. Our ego is going to stop us and limit our ability to connect in with self, forgive self, and love self. We need this amazing, inquisitive, playful energy to help us get unstuck, to help us squish down that ego's resistance. Now, in the pages, they're all that childlike, innocent, playful energy. But the Page of Cups adds in a unique element that we need now more than ever. And that is the element of flexibility. In the original deck that Pamela Coleman Smith drew in the Rider-Waite series, which this is based off of, actually about 95% of the decks are based off of Pamela Coleman Smith's original drawings. But the original page, he is wearing this fashionable tights with this amazing lotus flower tunic, which in itself is a fashion statement. And then he has this fantastic fish hat. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I encourage you to Google it after you're done this video. It is a fantastic card. The fashion statement, it's unparalleled. But what's more is he's holding a cup, and in it is a fish, and he is owning it. His expression is like, yep, that's my fish. And we need that energy, that flexibility to deal with the unexpected. Sure, unexpected things are going to happen. And of course, our ego is going to really push us with that unexpected. If we are flexible and creative, we can, create solutions that are going to be more meaningful for us, rather than just reacting. We want to use our intuitive gifts, our creativity, to our advantage. Middle of the week reminds us of that. reminds us of that flexibility, of our creativity, of that playful nature that is hidden within us. We need to tap into it and allow it out, supporting us in creating solutions for our current situation and problems we're facing, but also to help us understand us even more. Let's go on to the end of the week. What can my Tiger Iron friends expect from the end of the week? I've got a clean sweep, the Five of Cups. So in the Five of Cups, you have 3 cups, and it may be hard to see. Let's see if we can get that in camera here. There's 3 cups in the water and 2 right above her head. The Five of Cups talks about focusing in on aspects and pieces that aren't serving you. They cause heartache and pain. Whereas there's 2 cups that would support you in connecting in with aspects and pieces that would be meaningful, that would bring you abundances and joy. We're ignoring them. The universe has been trying to hand them to you to reinforce them. However, we're resistant to that because we're so stuck in that heartache and fear. Now, depending on what work we do this week, because yes, there's work entailed. That's why I keep telling you there's meditations, there's pieces and aspects I want you to actually do. You need to do them. No one else can do them for you. It's your journey. It's up to you. The more work you put in, the more evident and predominant those 2 cups are going to be. They're going to help you connect in to the opportunities that are presented in your here and now, that are in your everyday, that we've been missing because we've been so caught up in that fear, so caught up in expectations that are not serving us. Additionally, when you look at the cup suit, the 2 of Cups is actually a relationship card. So if we take the 2 of Cups and look at that card, we're looking at strengthening and improving a relationship. And that relationship, of course, is with yourself. So as you can see, this week is coming back into a full circle. We need to work on our relationship with self so that we gain the ability to embrace the opportunities that are present for us. Like I said, it's up to us to do this, to put that work in, to reap the rewards, because the universe likes to reward us for our hard work. Rewards us through abundances and through supports that make things easier. So it's a win-win situation. The work, well, it's going to pay off. And no, I don't want you to hyper-focus in on this aspect. We need to do our physical expectations, those demands that meet our physical requirements. These are aspects and pieces that we need to add into our everyday. That's why I'm suggesting small pieces. I gave you a list of meditations to choose from. They're all about a half an hour each. And when we meditate, we start to balance out our brain. We're able to use the frontal cortex, that front part of our brain, to make decisions for our best and greatest good, both in the spiritual realm and physical realm. There's scientific backing to how meditation does help to balance our brain. It helps to reduce our blood pressure. There's a lot of physical benefits from it. The science is catching up to the woo-woo. And the woo-woo is encouraging that connection, that meditation, and that energetic healing that those meditations that I suggested provide. And eventually the science will back up that woo-woo as well. Woo-woo is kind of the leader in where we need to go, because we're being driven by that universal energy and high vibrational beings, and science just keeps proving us right. So, the science and the woo-woo, it does go hand in hand. This is what the week brings you. Let's look at the challenge. We know that heartache and fear, your ego is part of it, but let's get more into it. What challenge will my Tiger Iron friends face for the week of January 17th through the 23rd? The Queen of Wands. Now, queens are that feminine energy in the suit. Do not think that they don't have that power. In some cases, just like in reality, that queen has more power than the king because she connects in with us better. She is that divine feminine energy that most of us can connect in with. Many of us struggle with that divine masculine because it is very, abrupt. It's very curt, if you will, where there's more fluidity and nurturing with the queens. Queen of Swords, not so nurturing, but the Queen of Wands, very nurturing. We're using that passion-centered nurturing. Now, with the Queen of Wands, she talks about owning herself. She knows herself through and through. We're going to have that disconnect because we don't understand ourselves. We don't know how to own what it is we can do, who it is we are, and what's more, how we can use it to our advantage. She is a big obstacle for us because we don't understand us. Now, the more we work on it, we start to connect in with us. We do some reflection. We do some meditations. We start to, be present for us. We're going to turn her from an obstacle to an ally because we start to understand us. We can see how we can use our skills, our natural abilities to our advantage to support us in connecting in and engaging with these opportunities that the universe is offering you. So, like I said, the universe likes to support us in giving us supports and allies that can help us throughout this journey. We need to put that work in, start to raise our vibration so that we can turn this beautiful queen from an obstacle to an ally. Understanding us, understanding how we can better use our abilities and skills, our knowledge to our advantage. Right now, our vibration is too low. We can't connect in very well with this queen. She's somewhat of an anomaly. There's too much disconnect there. We need that connection to gain that understanding. So, let's go into some blessings. What blessings can my Tiger Iron friends embrace for the week of January 17th through the 23rd? Magician and the Mirror. I love this card. Very much connected into the Magician. He's got the universal infinity symbol above his head. Maybe hard to see because it's like white. Just like the Magician does. He's talking about using his skills and his abilities, similar to what we were talking about with the Queen there, and using them to make magic happen. But what's more is he's stepping it up. It's not just using your skills and abilities and using them to your advantage. Sure. But we need to redirect them. He's the Magician and the Mirror. We need to redirect that magic, that universal, unconditional energy that we're bringing in and drawing in as we raise our vibration, and redirect it right to us. We need to rejuvenate and inspire us so that we can move forward, fully embracing these opportunities, helping us to understand us better, helping us to raise our vibration even more, so that those opportunities that are right here in our right now become even clearer. They become more prevalent and present for us. Caring connections. Now, like I said, the Two of Cups that we talked about earlier, yes, I know it's not on the table, but in a way, it is indirectly on the table. It talked about those relationships. It's a relationship piece. Predominantly, it's talking about that relationship with you. However, like I said at the beginning, we need to have that love for self and for others. And what's more, being open to the love that others share with us, whether it be from the physical support team or spiritual support team. We need to be open to that love, open to receiving it and to embracing it. Again, I know that sounds corny, but many of us resist the love of others, feeling it's easier to give rather than receive. We don't feel that we need it or that we're worthy of it. And we're wrong on both accounts. The more loving energy that we have and we give, it's got to be a balanced piece. It just can't be give, 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 or take, 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 because that's an imbalanced piece. And it loses its energy, its luster. It becomes something else. But when you have that balance of receive and give, you strengthen you. You start to heal you because you're raising your vibration. You're allowing others to walk with you on your journey, to support you, to connect in with that real you, rather than something that you've created, that your ego has added extra padding and fluffiness and protection, because there's a fear of people getting to know us and loving us for who we are. We don't even know who that is now. It's been so long since we connected in with our true self. This week, we need to start to work on it and connect in so that we can truly give and truly receive that love. It will go a long way in our journey in the days and weeks to come. So we're going to end off the reading with any further insight, guidance, guidance and wisdom that we can share with my Tiger Iron friends for the week of January 17th through the 23rd. The Eight of Cups. Adding to our cups, just in case we didn't think that the intuition and emotion was important, we're adding to it. The Eight of Cups talks about that inner journey. We do need to go deep down inside. We need to get to know us at the core so that we can start to shed. And this is a slow shed, guys. It's not, I don't want you to rip off all those protective barriers that your ego has built up, because if we try and do that, what's going to happen is that you're going to revert back, and that fear is going to be even harder to break. Like it said here, you need to make that decision on how you show the goods. We need to take that time. We need to understand us, peeling back those layers so we get to know who we are. So then we can slowly bring out who it is we are and live that authentic life. The Two of Pentacles. The more authentic we are, the more work we do, the more balanced and grounded we're going to feel. We're going to feel more stable. We're going to feel more able to take on more opportunities, more aspects. It's not going to be a burden or something that we dread. Rather, something we look forward to. Many people will meditate either in the morning or in the evening, and they look forward to it because it calms them. Many people like to reflect in and connect into their passions throughout their day. It's not an added task. Rather, it's something they look forward to and they're excited about. And that's what we're going to find. That growth, that evolution, it's going to occur as we start to put those pieces together and work for it. And finally, the Five of Swords. And it's as cheery as it looks. So in tarot or oracle, fives are always about a challenge. They're a challenge number. The Five of Swords reminds us that our ego is ever prevalent and will, stab you in the back. Will bring up that heartache and fear to slow this amazing journey that we're on, to slow that connection, that understanding. And for the love of God, it would not want you to start to show who you truly are. That's dangerous, scary. Yet, when you do it, you feel more connected, more alive. You feel more inspired to continue to go forward. Our ego isn't serving us as much as it used to. Before, we'd use our ego, that flight or fright system, to keep ourselves safe. We don't need it anymore. We kind of have that knowledge base and understanding that a dark alley may hold dangers. We don't necessarily have that saber-toothed tiger chasing us anymore. We have, yes, of course, different dangers and uncertainties. However, we're using our knowledge to our advantage. Our ego has, quote-unquote, protected us too much. We need that higher vibrational, intuitive self to help us evolve. Think of the padding that your ego has put in place as a cocoon. We're going to start to work on self so that eventually we can shed that cocoon and stand proud in our power, in ourselves, helping us to step into that light, into that love that's going to take us a lot further, bringing in that fulfillment and meaning that we need, more so than what we're currently dealing with. We all want to shift out of this heaviness, to shift out of what we're dealing with. Well, knowledge of self, understanding skills and abilities, understanding your creativity and who it is you are will support you in that shift. I want to thank you guys so very much for joining me today and watching this video. I hope that you found this video fun and helpful and you're able to gain some insight and direction into what the week offers you. If you like this video, please remember to give it a thumbs up. It truly helps people find me on the sea of YouTube, which supports us as a collective in raising our vibration. Additionally, if you like this video, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. There is so much more coming your way. I've got meditations and a lot of learning and teaching that I'm going to start to do throughout the year. We're starting off with tarot, and who knows where I'm going to end up. The best way to stay connected so you don't miss out on any of this amazing insight and healing is to subscribe to my channel and hit that little red bell so you don't miss a video. Also, if you enjoyed this video and want to support me in making more, I have a Patreon page. I've got lots of tiers and perks, and of course we're looking at free readings and healings just for you. Plus, I also have a Patreon exclusive library of videos just for my supporters. I provided a helpful link below, so why not go check it out? Until tomorrow, my tiger iron friends. Hello and welcome, my Selenite friends. This reading is especially for you. Now, like always, I have the full deck of the tarot and both oracle cards here, so you get the fullest and most comprehensive reading for you. Without further ado, let's see what the week holds for my Selenite friends. What can my Selenite friends expect from the week of January 17th through the 23rd? Third chakra, Archangel Chamuel. Well, if you've been around for a while, you know that I love the energy oracle. However, some of the archangels that they've attached to your chakras aren't ones I normally associate with. Archangel Chamuel is a fantastic archangel. However, he's primarily known for self-love and love. And it's not usually associated with your solar plexus chakra, which is your third chakra. Now this week, we're going to need both. We're going to need that courage and that determination of that solar plexus chakra to support us in embracing these opportunities that are going to be present for us this week. And of course, that self-love and healing, helping to raise our vibration and help those opportunities, they become more prevalent. We start to vibrate at a higher vibration, so those opportunities, they pop out and catch our attention more. So this week, we do need both factors to support us in embracing this week. Let's look at this week a little bit more. What should my Selenite friends focus in on this week? We know we're going to need our courage and determination, and we're going to need some self-love and healing. Let's see what else we can find. Ooh, how interesting. Hopefully they'll come in. Sometimes they don't. There we go. Somatic. Follow the body and what feels good. Try finger painting or body painting. How you move will make the result more lively. That connection, that ownership. We need to be connected in and working with ourselves rather than against it. Like I said, Archangel Chamuel is really going to be needed this week. He's going to help us with that connection and that self-love. Many weeks ago, actually months ago now, I did a meditation with Archangel Chamuel. In that meditation, we do look at that healing and that self-love. We start to release some of those built-up barriers we're holding on to that's stopping and limiting ourselves to love ourselves and understand ourselves. That understanding is going to be a big component of this week. Knowing what is going to feel good on a high vibration rather than just soothing that low vibration, connecting into self like you've never connected in before, and understanding you a little bit more. That understanding will go a long way in the weeks to come. Let's look at this week a little bit more. What can my Selenite friends expect from the beginning of the week? The Five of Cups. Makes a lot of sense. We're feeling disconnected and uncertain. So the Five of Cups talks about focusing in on 3 cups. And we're missing 2 very important cups. Those 2 cups is what we're going to be connecting in with. Now, when you look at the Suit of Cups, when you focus in on just the 2 cups, you're looking at that relationship piece. And of course, the relationship that we're looking at is our relationship with self. And that's what this week is about. We're going to reconnect in. We're going to focus in on these 2 cups, giving us a better understanding of the direction we need to go. Without that connection and relationship with ourselves, we're going to continue focusing in on what isn't serving us so well. Those losses, that heartache and fear that is causing stagnation and driven by our ego. The beginning of the week, we're really going to feel that disconnect, that uncertainty, and that sorrow. At the beginning of the week, that's when we need to start to reach out to Archangel Chamuel. Start to work on that self-love, that healing, and understanding what is meaningful for us, what's going to feel good and help us raise our vibration. So the work starts out on day 1. We need to connect in and start to focus in on these 2 cups, rather than what the ego is directing us to focus in on. Let's go on to the middle of the week. What can my Selenite friends expect? Whoa, oh, that one's on the floor. There you go. Focus in on for the middle of the week. Sometimes these decks get really excited and cards start flying. Do ask that they try and keep it on the table though. It isn't so much fun trying to go into the technology to pull out cards. It's an important one though. The Ace of Swords. That aha moment. Giving yourself some time with you is going to bring in those aha moments. Insight, perspective, and information that's going to support you. Support you in this week, the weeks, and months to come. In the middle of the week, I would suggest having that pen and paper handy. Some of the information, some of those aha moments may not make sense to you. That's okay. We don't have to have a connection with all the information that we're going to receive. That information, it's going to be needed. Maybe not now, but in the future. We write it down in an organized manner, or in whatever manner you get it in, but keep it in an organized space. You're going to be able to reflect back on it. I usually suggest people have a journal. However, in the last week or so, I've been getting information that the journal isn't enough. Those small books from the dollar store, they're not enough. We need to start to shift gears and head back to school. Getting yourself a nice binder, and I know binders aren't that aesthetically pleasing. However, you can make it your own. We can use our creativity and decorate it, or not, to suit you. But with that binder, you're going to be able to get out more of the information. Some of the information is going to come in through downloads, so all of a sudden you're going to have that epiphany and you can write it down. Or you're going to start to see things. Or you document that you saw a feather in the middle of your hallway, yet you have no birds and there's no real reason for that feather to be there. And this is an important piece that a lot of people forget. High vibrational beings, the angels and archangels, can start to manipulate the computer, bringing up different information or websites that you may not have chosen. And don't worry, they're not the dodgy ones. These are the ones that are going to be meaningful for us. But all of a sudden you have this website that you're like, that doesn't make sense. It's not the button I clicked. It's important. Print it off. If you have a binder, it's easier to put that information in. Or you are looking for something and all of a sudden you get this amazing journal or documentation of something that resonates deep within you. You can print it off and put it in the binder. That's why I'm kind of getting that push to go back to school and get the binder. You can keep adding to it. You can add blank paper if you're drawing something. It's a lot more versatile than those little books. So the middle of the week, I would suggest having that binder ready. Whether it is, hopping in a safe manner to the dollar store or convenience store or wherever to pick up that binder, going into your kids' school supplies and pulling out the first binder you see. Don't worry about what color it is or what it looks like. Like I said, you can add to it. You can, get creative. Be creative. You can put pictures on the front that are meaningful for you, that inspire you. Quotes. Go crazy with it. But you'll find that binder is a lot more, relevant and helpful than just a small journal that you're trying to fold up pieces of paper or cut them. And it can be a real challenge to try and fit the information to that format. Let's take that step out and make it easy. Additionally, please do not write this information down on your computer. Like I just said, the high vibrational beings, they can manipulate it. Well, guess what? So can the low vibrational. Your ego can cause havoc with it. Documents don't open. Documents go missing. Things don't make sense. It comes up in hieroglyphics. So many things can happen. Not to mention the Mercury retrograde that's coming up at the end of the month. It can and does impact technology. Take that technological component out and use that old school pen and paper. Now, like I said, we do want to use that technology to our advantage. The high vibrational beings, they're using it to their advantage too, to get us information. But we don't want to rely on housing that information in one spot. It's too easy to manipulate. Back to the middle of the week, those aha moments, that insight, the direction, that connection, cards are excited, are going to come forward for you. We're not looking at acting on it, guys. We're just looking at kind of collecting, restoring, reconnecting in. We need that direction before we can get going. We don't want to be moving for movement's sake. We need meaningful movement. Let's go on to the end of the week. What can my Selenite friends expect from the end of the week? The High Priestess, the second card in the Major Arcana. That connection to the high vibrational beings, that universal wisdom, and then, of course, we have that amazing rite of passage that she holds for us. She's a gatekeeper. Like I said, that wisdom, that information, it's going to be important. We're going to gain it not only from the physical world, from the spiritual as well. When we have that information and we can compile it, that's when we're going to be able to step through the rite of passage that the High Priestess offers with knowledge and understanding on what we need to do next. We're going to be able to open up more opportunities through that knowledge, through that understanding. When we start to understand ourselves a bit better and we start to heal ourselves, that's when we raise that vibration. And raising that vibration opens up these opportunities, supports us in our growth and our development. So the end of the week, those opportunities are going to start to shine really bright. Like I said, the higher our vibration, the more predominant these opportunities become. So the end of the week, you're going to have a better understanding. It still may be really clouded and kind of muddy. However, that time and knowledge is going to support you in understanding you better, what resonates with you. And that's the direction you need to go. And no, we don't want to do the leaps and bounds. We want slow, steady progression. When we have that slow, steady progression, well, that's when we feel stable. The shifting that is occurring doesn't cause us to resonate in with that fear, because our ego will try and slow us down, causing heartache and fear throughout this process. However, if it's slow and stable, you're not aggravating your ego as much. A leap and bound, it causes your ego to go into DEFCON 3, and all of a sudden you're jumping back and you're reverting to past, and usually even further than past, experiences, coping mechanisms, and you're shutting down, causing that development to become more stagnant. Because your ego is going to scream at you, yeah, I told you development and growth was bad. You should have stayed where I told you to, in the heartache and pain. That way you're not causing more. Yet that thinking is so limiting. We limit our experiences. We limit the universe's opportunity to support us, to allow us to experience what it is we signed up for, what we wanted to learn. If we stay in what our ego is telling us to, well, we're going to be revisiting this lifetime, repeating the same patterns. We need that knowledge and guidance to start to break the pattern, to stop what we're doing that isn't serving us, and embrace aspects and pieces that will serve us, helping us to break the pattern and helping us to experience more of what we wanted, to experience that light, that love, rather than that heartache and fear. At the end of the week, we're going to have that. We can start making those steps forward, connecting in with aspects and pieces that are more meaningful, that are high vibrational, and that are going to serve us. So let's go on to the challenge. We know our ego is there, but let's see if there's anything more that we can find. What challenge will my Patreon friends face for the week of January 17th through the 23rd? So interesting, before I pick up this card, in tarot, as you start to read tarot, and I do have a series where I'm starting to teach people how to read tarot and eventually oracle cards. You look initially at the pictures. That's how you start reading things, because tarot is a pictorial expression of events to come, or energies, or what's happening. So when we look at the pictures in this spread, we have a very clear kind of division. This uncertainty and heartache and fear and stagnation to something of evolution, connection, and understanding. Where that line and division lies is going to be up to you. What work you put into it, what work you put into you. And like I said earlier, we want slow, steady progression. We can do a meditation. That's 30 minutes. Easy to add into, well, whenever you need. Right? Taking that time, writing down some information. 5 minutes, maybe? That small little aspects that you give yourself throughout the day, throughout the week, will make a difference. You are the one who needs to do it. No one else can do it for you, because this is your experience, your journey. Haha. And there's your journey. the Knight of Wands. Knights are that adolescent, no fear energy. That wand, well, we're looking at that passion, that courage, that determination, which is really your solar plexus chakra in a nutshell. We're going to waver. That fear and heartache, it's going to be pretty powerful. We need to take that time, connect in, and override that fear. Override that heartache. There's a couple of ways we can do that. Like I said, that meditation, it goes a long way in helping us to connect and heal, especially if you use my Archangel meditations. Now, if you're new to my channel and you're not too sure about these meditations I keep talking about, I have 2 playlists of meditations that are free for you to use and to revisit as you need. These are guided meditations that are going to support you in your healing and in overcoming those challenges. So there's 2 more meditations that I'm going to suggest that are going to help you turn the night from an obstacle to an ally, really spurring you on, connecting into that understanding, connecting you in to yourself and to your passions. So the first one, of course, is going to be Archangel Uriel. If you haven't worked with Archangel Uriel, he's a fantastic archangel that I do connect in with my solar plexus energy. He helps to take us from that darkness to that light. A fantastic meditation that's going to help strengthen your courage, that determination, and help you to connect in with you. A second meditation that I'm going to suggest to help you with that night energy is a meditation that I did with Archangel Metatron. In that meditation, we look at releasing that heartache, that fear, helping you to heal you and connect in with you rather than that heartache and fear. Heartache and fear are not going to support you right now. We need that light and love to really encourage, to direct you, to support you with your growth and your development. Of course, I've got lots of other meditations. Go look at that playlist. Healing you, that's a personal piece. I can help and guide you with meditations that I know are going to help you connect into some of these energies. But this is a group reading. Go through. There's probably almost 50 meditations between my Just For You playlist and my Archangel Healing playlist. I would advise that Archangel Healing playlist is going to be really needed because that's something that I identified early in the reading. That understanding of self, that caring and healing for you. Let's go on to some blessings now. What blessing? Well, can my Selenite friends embrace for the week of January 17th through the 23rd? Woman holding a heart. And that's kind of what we're going to need to do, guys, is hold our heart at a little bit of a distance. That heartache and pain, that fear, that's based in the heart. We need to use our head rather than our heart this week. Our ego does not stand up to critical thinking, to critical assessment. When we use that knowledge, that's going to support us in connecting in to that universal wisdom. Knowledge and wisdom, of course, go hand in hand, whereas knowledge and fear, not so much. You're going to miss stuff out. So that knowledge and wisdom is going to set you free. That heartache and pain is going to keep you stagnant, to keep you stuck. Now we do have an interesting piece here. So I said earlier we need that slow, steady progression. We do have an interesting fact here. We've got 1, 2, 3, and then 4. Reinforcing that slow, steady progression. We don't want the leap of faith. We don't want to aggravate our ego anymore. We want to focus in on that knowledge, focus in on that passion. And yes, I know passion is connected to the heart, but it's that creativity aspect of the passion that's going to connect these two even more. Then we have the thinking man, reconfirming that need to use our head over our heart, supporting us with that knowledge and wisdom that truly is going to set us free. It's going to get us out of that stagnation that's built in that heartache and fear, and support us in embracing that light, that love, that movement forward. All right, we're going to end off the reading with any further insight, wisdom, and guidance that we can share with my Selenite friends for the week of January 17th through the 23rd. The World, the 21st card in the Major Arcana. We're looking at that change. So the World is about endings and beginnings. We can end this aspect, this part of our lives that isn't working, that is causing heartache and fear. We need to take that time, and the World very much reinforces that celebration of all that we've succeeded in, because there has been successes. It may be hard to acknowledge right now, but there have been some. Taking that time, collecting our thoughts, and getting going on that next chapter. Having that enthusiasm, that excitement of what is to come. When we have that excitement, we can't have that fear slow us down. We're going to go forward. We're going to enjoy ourselves. We're going to use that courage and determination of the solar plexus and this knight when we turn them over to our advantage. Oh, the selenite is not staying. There we go. To our advantage to embrace that next chapter, whatever that next chapter looks like for you. And we're also adding the Knight of Cups. Cousin to the Knight of Wands. We're using that intuition to our advantage. We need that guidance to support us, not only in understanding that information, but to gaining even more. Adding more puzzle pieces to our picture to add a clearer understanding of where it is we need to go. Without that guidance of the high vibrational beings, without using our intuition, we're going to be stuck here. And the best way to use our intuition, of course, is starting to connect in with it. Again, I have another meditation that can support you. This one was with Archangel Raziel, where we worked on connecting into our intuition, using our intuitive gifts, understanding them, helping us to understand ourselves even more. Now, of course, we do have the double knights, and knights in the minor arcana are the 12th card in that minor suit. And when you have that multiple 12, the angels are telling you that this is a time of spiritual growth and awakening, which is very true. We're going to awaken to that understanding, to that connection to self, and on how to get ourselves unstuck. Making those small shifts in our lives to create the change that we need. When we make those small shifts, just like when you're taking those baby steps forward, eventually you're going to get that distance and change you need. That change that's going to support you in embracing that light and love, helping you to realign yourself to your soul's deeper purpose, which of course helps you to understand you better, helps you to gain a better fulfillment, and, well, helps you to get more abundance in your life. The universe likes to reward us for our hard work, and how it does that, of course, is making things easier by sliding in extra support, extra knowledge and wisdom, and helping us to gain added abundances across the board throughout all aspects of self. And finally, Justice. She's the 11th card in the Major Arcana, and we're looking at that black and white card of balance. Balancing out what isn't working with aspects and pieces that are going to work. Helping you to cut free of some of those bondages and barriers that have been created by your ego that has caused that stagnation. This week is going to help you really come to terms with you. And the more honest you can be with self, focusing in that knowledge rather than that heart and that heartache, the more you're going to get out of this week. And no, you don't have to spend a lot of time on this. Taking time throughout the week to do those meditations I suggested, to write down the information and guidance. Small chunks that, of course, are going to help. Just like those baby steps, those small pieces that you're giving to you, they're going to pay off. Like I said, the universe likes to reward us for our hard work. I want to thank you guys so very much for joining me today and watching this video. I hope that you found this video fun and helpful, and you're able to gain some insight and direction into what the week offers you. If you like this video, please remember to give it a thumbs up. It truly helps people find me on the sea of YouTube, which supports us as a collective in raising our vibration. Additionally, if you like this video, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. There is so much more coming your way. I've got meditations and a lot of learning and teaching that I'm going to start to do throughout the year. We're starting off with tarot, and who knows where I'm going to end up. The best way to stay connected so you don't miss out on any of this amazing insight and healing is to subscribe to my channel and hit that little red bell so you don't miss a video. Also, if you enjoyed this video and want to support me in making more, I have a Patreon page. I've got lots of tiers and perks, and of course we're looking at free readings and healings just for you. Plus, I also have a Patreon exclusive library of videos just for my supporters. I provided a helpful link below, so why not go check it out? Until tomorrow, my Selenite friends. Hello and welcome, my Rose Quartz friends. This reading is especially for you. Now, like always, I have the full decks of both the tarot and both oracle cards here, so you get the most comprehensive and meaningful reading for you. Without further ado, let's see what the week holds for my Rose Quartz friends. What can my Rose Quartz friends expect from the week of January 17th through the 23rd? Fifth chakra, Archangel Gabriel. What a fantastic card to start out with. Of course, your fifth chakra is your throat chakra. We're looking at that communication, being able to express ourselves, and most importantly, being able to hear the communication, the guidance and wisdom from others, both on the physical plane and spiritual. Our throat chakra, our fifth chakra, really supports us with that endeavor. And of course, Archangel Gabriel, well, she is a fantastic support in gaining that guidance, that insight and information that's going to support us, well, throughout this week and the weeks to come. Now, I know that communication can be a real bear. It's easy to try and communicate with our words. It can be another thing to take that time and understand what people and those high vibrational beings are trying to share with us. Now, months ago, I did a meditation with who else but Archangel Gabriel. We worked on that communication. This is a fantastic meditation that you can visit or revisit throughout the week. Now, it doesn't matter how many times you use this meditation, you will continue to benefit from that quiet 30 minutes that, well, allows you to embrace the healing energies of Archangel Gabriel and myself. Now, if you're new to my channel and aren't too sure about what I'm talking about, I have 2 playlists of meditations. These are free meditations that, like I said, you can use and reuse as you need. These tools will support you in overcoming some of these challenges. So, the meditation I did with Archangel Gabriel is a fantastic meditation that will help you set your week up to succeed. Let's get a little bit more direction in this week. What should my rose quartz friends focus in on this week? Oh, how interesting. I love this little deck. Hopefully it comes into focus here. It is white on green. Texture. Fill in the empty spaces with interesting elements. Underlay the work before you start it. Fill in your notebook with tertiary details and use them at will. What a fantastic card. That texture, of course, is the insight, that communication that Archangel Gabriel and the high vibrational beings and the people around you want to share with you. That attention to detail is going to be important. I know that I keep harping on about getting a spiritual journal or notebook. Something that's really come clear to me, especially as we start the new year, it's not so much as a little book that you want to hold with you. Those little books are so easy to, lose, put down, and never find. We need something a bit bigger, and that's going to be more versatile. Something like a binder, where you can print off that information, or email, or text. You can get that information down in a way that's going to be meaningful for you. And yes, the high vibrational beings can communicate with you through your computer. It's an electrical source. Archangels and high vibrational beings used to use the radio to their advantage. And then they also used the TV to their advantage on top of the radio. Then the computer came in. Guess what? They're using all this technology to their advantage, just like we are. We need to get that information out. It's very important to write things down because we may not see the pattern and we may not be open as much as we should to the information that is being shared with us. When it contradicts or is a little bit against what we're currently thinking, feeling, or doing, we have a tendency to resist it. We shut down, and so we lose that insight. We lose what people are trying to share with us. When you write it down, and use that information for information's sake. We start to lessen the ego's hold over that response. Well, we can utilize that information at a later date. So I encourage people to get a binder, and you can make it as decorative as you want, or you can leave it as plain as you want. That way you can print off things that come up, you can write down things, you can draw things, you can add different pieces and aspects. Think of it as a big scrapbook so that you can, contain and maintain all this information. Some of it's going to be needed now and some of it in the future. So let's look at this week a little bit more. What can my rose quartz friends expect from the beginning of the week? Oh, they're hitting you good. The 10 of Swords. I said your ego response to things. Like I just said, your ego, it's going to try and slow you down. It's going to respond emotionally to that information, to how other people are talking, because of course they have to be wrong. We have to be right. That heartache and that fear is going to come up. That's why we need to take that information for information's sake. We need to get out of our heart center, start to work with our head. Our throat and our head will support us in gaining that information that we're going to need. We're going to need for this week and, like I said, for the weeks to come. Go down to the dollar store, go into your kids' school supplies, grab a binder. Super easy to do. Inexpensive and something that you can keep adding to. We don't have a limited amount of pages. It's harder to add in a document or an email to a small journal. But if it's a binder, you can just hole punch it and add it in, highlighting the important pieces. Think of it as going back to school. This school, well, it's going to be the insight, the information, and wisdom that we need to, well, if you will, study throughout the year. We can't change what's happened in the past. We need to embrace that next stage, that dawn. And it's harder to see in this card, but the sun, it's rising. We need to embrace that dawn and that new day. When we start to take the insight and information and move forward, that's when we're going to be able to deal with this past pain, start to heal ourselves. But right now, the most important aspect is getting that information down. No matter how minute or minuscule you think that information is, put it down. You start to see patterns. You'll start to see the insight and direction that you need right here and right now. Some of it may not make any sense at all. I have stuff written down from years ago that I have no idea what it means. Revisit it though. It may make sense. It may trigger another aha moment. If you have it written down in pen and paper, you're going to be able to easily see this. And I know I keep badgering about pen and paper. Technology can be manipulated, not only by the high vibrational beings, but by your ego and low vibrational beings. Not to mention, in a couple of weeks, it's going to be a challenge, guys, but Mercury retrograde's coming back. We lose insight and information when it's on the computer. Print it off, get it out, get it down so that you can revisit it. let's go on to the middle of the week. What can my rose quartz friends expect from the middle of the week? Much needed. Temperance, balance, and stability. That energy flow. Now, also, interestingly enough, and I can only assume that this deck followed Pamela Coleman Smith. In the original card, the Temperance Angel is a depiction of the goddess Iris, who was, again, a messenger goddess. So, that message, that's an important aspect. We're going to have that balance and stability as we're able to embrace that dawn. Push down our ego, that fear and heartache, because we know what's going on right now, it's not so much working for us. We need that change. We need to embrace that dawn and those beautiful rainbows. When we have that stability in knowledge, as we're using our head, not our heart, we're able to use that critical thinking, question things, and then be open to that answer so you can gain the direction and perspective you need. That's going to give you stability. You're going to feel grounded. We need to have information from our physical. She's got one foot on the rocks there and one in the water. We need that direction, that guidance from the high vibrational beings as well. Being open to communication, wisdom, and insight from physical and spiritual beings that are going to support us. They're going to help us gain the direction and that knowledge we need to move ourselves forward. So the middle of the week, taking some time for self, being open to and start to get that information out. We don't need to put action to anything. We just need to start to get that information out. Of course, we can take time and partake in a meditation or two, if you will, because that helps to quiet our minds. When we have that meditative state, we're open to the insight from the high vibrational beings. It helps calm us. It helps to align our brain so we are more open to the insight and guidance from our physical support team as well. We're able to use the frontal cortex more readily because in meditation, science has proven that that calming breath starts to balance out our brain. We're able to use both spheres more effectively. That cognitive thought through your frontal cortex, which I know is a lot of science in my woo-woo, but science is catching up to the woo-woo, guys. That frontal cortex thought pattern will support you in gaining that insight and direction that you need to move yourself away from what you're currently dealing with. I know this is really, it's amazing how science is backing up the woo-woo and woo-woo is leading the way. This is the direction we need to go, guys. Yeah, meditation's fantastic. Science finds out, ooh, it is. We're finding out that there is more scientific support of something like Reiki. Now, I said that energy balance is going to be important. Well, Reiki deals with your chakras. So, there's a lot going on. And if you want to strengthen your throat chakra, which I don't think I've mentioned before, you can. And if you're not a Reiki master, that's okay. Not everybody is. I think everybody should be, or at least have level 1 and 2, because then you can start to heal yourself. But you can use other modalities to help heal. Any blue crystal, so if you have lapis lazuli or if you have some sodalite, they'll both connect into your throat chakra, helping you to, well, resonate that chakra more effectively. Additionally, I also have a balancing meditation for your chakras. A fantastic meditation. Like I said, meditation is going to be important this week to help with that alignment, help strengthen, and most importantly, help you to connect in to that chakra. So let's go on to the end of the week. What can my rose quartz friends expect from the end of the week? The Knight of Pentacles adds in his courage and his determination. Knights, of course, that adolescent, no fear energy. And we're going to need it. Our ego, it's not going to go, oh, she squished me down at the beginning of the week. We're fine. It's going to come up throughout the week. We're going to have that courage and determination to say, oi, no, bad ego. Sit in the corner. It is time for you to connect in, gain that insight, and start to grow and develop. The knights that Pamela Coleman Smith drew in the original Rider-Waite deck, they're in varying stages of motion. The Knight of Swords is running helter-skelter headlong into a storm. The Knight of Wands, he's galloping too. He's got a bit of a run going on. Whereas the Knight of Cups, he's trotting along. He's very sassy and prissy. Whereas the Knight of Pentacles in the original card, he's not moving at all. He's steadfast. He just worked and plowed his field. And that's what we need to do. At the end of the week, we can start taking some of this insight and knowledge and using it to our advantage. Start to better us, better our lives, and embrace some of these opportunities that the week is offering us. We'll be ready. We'll feel stronger and more determined because we feel like we've got that knowledge down. We can use that knowledge to override our ego and get us going. Like I said earlier, your ego cannot withstand knowledge. It can't hold up to it. That critical thinking and assessment, it outwits your ego quite quickly. That knowledge is going to set you free this week in a big way. You're going to be able to make some movement. And it doesn't have to be galloping movement. Like I said, the Knight of Pentacles, he's not hardly moving. He's planting those seeds. And that's what we need to do this week. We need to plant those seeds so that we have emerging aspects, emerging possibilities that are going to support us in the weeks and months to come. We don't need to run headlong into a storm. We want to use steady, slow progression. I know it's really hard for us to have that steady, slow. We want fast and immediate gratification. That's not how things go. The high vibrational beings, they work slower than we do. They don't make the mistakes we do because they have a better perspective. They know that if they use that slow, steady progression, they aren't going to have to redo things. They're not going to come back and race back to the same point that they're in currently. And that's a lesson that many of us need to learn. So let's go on to the challenge. I did touch on your ego. Let's see if there's anything more. What challenge will my rose quartz friends face for the week of January 17th through the 23rd? The Five of Pentacles. Now, fives in tarot are always about a challenge. That pentacle is about growth and development. Now, the Five of Pentacles talks about feeling disconnected. Disconnected from our physical support team, and also, more importantly, disconnected from our spiritual support team, and from that energetic universal source. That disconnection is causing, well, stagnation. We feel uncertain on how to go forward. This disconnect is going to impact our ability to connect in and receive that insight, that information from both our physical and spiritual support teams. This isn't so much an ego-based piece, it's just how we're feeling. A lot of things have happened globally that have disconnected us from our physical support team. That's not ego-based, that's reality-based. And additionally, because there's been so much going on, we haven't had a lot of time or energy to connect in with that spirituality. I don't mean going to church, I mean spirituality. Connecting in with that spiritual energy. That disconnect, it's going to impact our ability to receive the insight, to balance ourselves out and gain that stability we need to start planting those seeds. We need to turn the Five of Pentacles away from that disconnect and, well, into that connection. Now, the Five of Pentacles never usually talks about connection. However, we can, because it's on its side as a challenge, we can turn it this way. In that reversed position, the Five of Pentacles does talk about a change. So whereas we're looking at disconnection in the Five of Pentacles, in the Five of Pentacles reversed, we're talking about a reconnection. Taking that time, using those tools, like my meditations, using your skills and your abilities to reconnect in, to be open to that insight, to that information, slowing ourselves down, gearing down, and being open to these opportunities. We're using that obstacle as a tool for this week. Like I said back at the Ten of Swords, information is going to set you free. Knowing this disconnection is going to be a challenge, well, let's not make it a challenge. Let's use our skills, our tools to our advantage so that we're not so disconnected. We work on that reconnection, and then we work on the information that our support teams share with us. Let's head into some blessings now. What blessings can my rose quartz friends embrace for the week of January 17th through the 23rd? Second chakra, Archangel Ariel. Now, you've probably heard me rant about how some of the archangels that the energy deck has put together with the chakras aren't archangels I usually associate with that chakra. Archangel Ariel isn't one I usually associate with my sacral chakra, which is your second chakra. The second chakra is connected into sensuality. Well, she's not really the sensual energy, if you will. There are other archangels who embody that more divine feminine energy that is associated with the second chakra. Archangel Ariel is a very natural, earthy energy. She works with the animals of the world. She helps ground us. That grounding, of course, is really essential, and we can utilize her amazing grounding energy to our advantage. We can ask her to come in and support us with that, especially at the beginning of the week when we feel so destabilized. Of course, that's a fantastic support. And of course, I do have that meditation with Archangel Gabriel in my Archangel playlist. However, like I said, I don't usually associate her with my sacral chakra, more with my root chakra because she does deal with that grounding energy. Now, your sacral chakra, that sensual, passion-based chakra, is going to be needed. we need to apply it to ourselves. We need to be kind to ourselves this week, because we are going to gain insight, information, and guidance that may feel a little bit sharp, that may contradict what we're doing, what we're feeling. That sensual, nurturing energy needs to be redirected back into us. And we can do that through some of these meditations, taking that time for self, rejuvenating and healing you. I've given you a number of meditations. And like I said, I have 2 playlists of them. Go through and pick which one resonates with you. That way, you're going to be using that energy of that nurturing sacral chakra. And you can, of course, utilize these amazing archangels and ask them for the help that you need. What a poignant card. Patience. Like I said, we need a little bit of delayed gratification here, guys. We need to take that time, plant those seeds, and have patience for you. Patience for your journey. It will truly pay off in the end. When we push and rush, like I said, we end up back in the same spot. We don't make that growth, that development that's going to bring in the shift we need. Changing our course and bringing in that fulfillment and abundance that we need. So we're going to end off on any further guidance, wisdom, and insight that we can share with my rose quartz friends for the week of January 17th through the 23rd. You know, one thing about tarot, and I do have a playlist where I'm starting to teach people some of the basics of tarot. The biggest part, the first part, is looking at the pictures. That's why we use tarot as a divinational tool. Now, if you look at the pictures, Temperance is facing the Knight, and the Knight is moving away from the 10 of Swords, that heartache and pain, that ego-based stagnation. We're looking at moving forward away from what we're dealing with. Reconfirming that need to move forward rather than stay stagnant. How funny. The Wheel of Fortune. Of course, it's the 10th card in the Major Arcana. We're looking at that shift, that change. So, reconfirming what tarot just said. We're looking at that change. We're looking at moving away from where we're at to something that's more meaningful, something that's going to support us in our growth and our development. This week offers us that ability to make those changes, to make those shifts that we really need right now. Another meditation, and I keep coming back to that meditation because we need that guidance so much. Last week I brought out a meditation with Archangel Brachiel. Probably not an archangel you've ever heard of. He's a lesser known archangel, however, he's really needed right now. Archangel Brachiel helps to direct us so that we succeed, that our fortune changes, that we have more luck at what we're trying to do. And most importantly, we have that element of laughter and fun in our everyday. We need that shift and change. A lot of times, the archangels, they'll embody major arcana. And Brachiel really embraces that Wheel of Fortune energy. We need it now more than ever. The Hierophant, the 5th card in the Major Arcana. We're looking at the teachers and supports. We need to reach out. We need that guidance. We need that direction. We don't have all the answers. We have a good understanding of what we're dealing with right now. However, we don't hold all the answers. Being open to different teachers, because there is not one teacher for one person. There are teachers for different aspects and pieces that are going to support us. They help us gain more perspective and more knowledge on how to do different things. We don't want to focus in on just one. We need, like I said, with all these archangels, I keep giving you more. We need to use our supports on the spiritual and physical planes to our advantage. We don't want to limit or minimize that insight, that guidance. Reaching out to different teachers, different people in different fields to support us in gaining a well-rounded perspective. Similar to when we were in school, we didn't use one source to write a paper. You just didn't use one aspect. You took multiple pieces and used that knowledge that you gained from different articles and books to complete that report, to complete that assignment. Same thing here. We need more than one. There is not just one hierophant that's going to support you throughout this journey. You're going to have multiple teachers and supports. It's time to reach out for them. Now, of course, we have that double 5. In angel messages, when you have that multiple 5, the angels are telling you that a positive change is coming your way and that you should get excited for this new adventure, which is very much true with that adventure that the Knight of Pentacles is offering us. And finally, the Lovers, the 6th card in the Major Arcana. We're looking at that relationship. It's not so much that outside romantic relationship. Like I said, you want that information to come from many sources. The relationship that I'm getting from the Lovers right now is that relationship with self. More importantly, that higher self, helping us to turn the tide of the 5 of Pentacles. The stronger our relationship with self, the more we're going to feel connected in, the more we're going to gain, the more knowledge, insight, and guidance. Now, when we pulled the texture card, it says that we need to fill our notebook with tertiary details. Now, when you're looking at creativity or painting, you have primary colors, which of course are red, blue, and yellow. Then you have secondary colors, which is mixing the primary colors together to get things like orange and purple and green. Well, tertiary colors, you're mixing all sorts of colors to get that third layer. Like I said, we need multiple sources for this information. It's not going to come from one primary source. It's going to come from all over. And from people that you may not have thought need to share information and insight with us. An example of that would be someone like a child. They too have insight and guidance. They aren't as disconnected as we are. They actually are usually more connected than we are. I'm not asking you to go out and bombard a child with information, but should they share information with you, write it down. It will be important. Or people that you may not have thought of as having that spiritual insight. It may not be a spiritual insight piece that you're missing. It may be a physical piece. When people come to you with information, especially information that you are resistant to, that's when we want to start to write it down. It's going to be important to us. It's going to be meaningful because that resistance is usually based in heartache and fear. Now, we do have a lot of 6s here. We have the 16th card, the 36th card, and then the 6th card. With these multiple 6s, the angels are telling you to balance your thoughts between the physical and spiritual worlds. That balance, it's going to be an essential piece. Like I said, the information is going to come from a lot of sources in differing vibrations and differing levels. It's up to us to get that insight and information down before it is lost and we repeat our pattern again. We need to identify these patterns, and the best way to do that is through collecting information on a variety of levels. I want to thank you guys so very much for joining me today and watching this video. I hope that you found this video fun and helpful, and you're able to gain some insight and direction into what the week offers you. If you like this video, please remember to give it a thumbs up. It truly helps people find me on the sea of YouTube, which supports us as a collective in raising our vibration. Additionally, if you like this video, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. There is so much more coming your way. I've got meditations and a lot of learning and teaching that I'm going to start to do throughout the year. We're starting off with tarot, and who knows where I'm going to end up. The best way to stay connected so you don't miss out on any of this amazing insight and healing is to subscribe to my channel and hit that little red bell so you don't miss a video. Also, if you enjoyed this video and want to support me in making more, I have a Patreon page. I've got lots of tiers and perks, and of course we're looking at free readings and healings just for you. Plus, I also have a Patreon exclusive library of videos just for my supporters. I provided a helpful link below, so why not go check it out? Until tomorrow, my rose quartz friends,